thought tapestry where we ride through the way, way back with Heart and Soul here. I'm your host, Keisha. And as always, my brilliant cousin, co-conspirator, and journalistic powerhouse, Stephanie, who's going to help me break this all down like only she can. All right, so we've been on a little hiatus, resting, regrouping, but we're back today and glad to be back. How about you, Steph?
Thrilled.
Okay, so we're back, and we're back with a story full of dust, drama, and heartache. Here we go. This is about my friend, my buddy, my pal, Billy the Kid.
Ooh.
He was a boy turned outlaw, a legend born from Lost, and a New Mexico story wrapped in gun smoke and grief. So, a few weeks ago, I think we talked about how much I loved Western movies, and I love Tombstone, I love Young Guns. Well, let me be clear, like, I love all Westerns. Like, I don't discriminate. Black, white, spaghetti Westerns, new school, prestige drama, it really doesn't matter. So if there's a horse and a showdown, some moral complexities, I'm the girl. So growing up in New Mexico, we had to take New Mexico history. As you remember, Stephanie as being a fourth grader, and that's where I met Billy the Kid. That's where he first came to be in my existence, not just in books, but in real life places. Our class took a field trip to the Billy the Kid's hideout. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I remember walking through the dark, narrow rooms, kind of half scared, half like, is Billy's ghost still here? Like I was waiting to feel it. So just the idea that they were hid out, crouched behind walls, that just stuck with me throughout my life. So it also got more personal because my fourth grade teacher, her name was Nancy Trainer. She lived in a house that once belonged to Pat Garrett. So yes, that Pat Garrett, the one who would eventually pull the trigger and end Billy's story, or at least claim to. So years later, when I was working, you remember I told you I used to work with this inventory ensemble, I don't know what to call it, and we would travel near and far on assignment, and one time we went to Fort Sumner, and that's actually where Billy the Kid grave is, and I stood beside his grave quietly. I don't know if I picked up a rock. I'm pretty sure I did. There was many pennies, bullets, all kinds of stuff on his headstone, girl. But I felt all of the weight of the history of him and how we came to be and how I was 20 years old and I was just experiencing life, and I always think of Billy the Kid. So now I'm going to take you back. It's 1878 and we're in Lincoln County, New Mexico. So big skies, harsh land, and a whole lot of power plays. So at the center of all of this was a force known as the House. It was a business monopoly run by Lawrence Murphy and James Dolan. Now, don't let the name business fool you. We're just using that very loosely in this sense when it comes to the House. This was economic warfare. They ran the only store in Lincoln County. They had contracts with the U.S. Army to sell beef. They controlled the banks around the county, the court system, even the sheriff was in the back pocket of the company. They were just untouchable. They were kind of like a cartel, if you will. For instance, if you want to buy a sack of flour or get a land deed or even sell your cattle, you went through the House and you paid their prices. This wasn't just corruption. It was the blueprint for modern capitalism. Ruthless, rigged, and ready to crush anyone who dared to compete. And that blueprint is still in rotation today. As we know, we can think of Amazon, we think of private equity, we think of also Wall Street. The House just didn't die. It just learned how to code. So there came a ripple, a quiet challenge from across the Atlantic. There was a 24-year-old Englishman named John Henry Tunstall. He arrived in Lincoln. He was young, educated, and idealistic. He believed in building something fair, something honorable. He bought land, opened a rival store to the store, the company, and the house, and bought his own cattle to market. So what really made him dangerous is that he had a vision. He saw a future where the house didn't rule. Because he came over there and he knew. He was like, this is this is nonsense. I'm sure what the words he was saying was ridiculous. Girl, Balderdash. There it is. Oh, he was upset. He was like, F these fools. So John Tunstall didn't just hire rough cowhands. He actually mentored them. He created a sense of purpose on his ranch. And among the men, he hired a restless, wiry teenager, and his name was William H. Bonney, better known as Billy the Kid. So Billy had bounced around since childhood. He was orphaned. He got arrested. He passed between jails and counties like like a stray bullet, girl. He was from here to there. But on Tunstall's ranch, he found something steady there. Tunstall gave him honest work, treated him with dignity, spoke to him like a man. Maybe the first man to ever do so. You know, and I imagine Billy as a kid going from here to there, probably being disrespected, probably been, like we said, you know, people go far off to find fortune and fame. And on the way, sometimes they get taken advantage of. So in this sense, he probably found this guy. He knows he's honest. He knows he's loyal. And he kind of sat down at his feet to learn a little thing or two. So over time, Tunstall became something more than a boss just to Billy. And like I said, we talked about mentoring. He became like a father figure. He trusted Billy, and Billy defended him because he believed in his potential. And Billy, despite his reputation, was loyal and fiercely loyal. And that's where me and old Billy, we love to be loyal. So that bond mattered, the bond with his boss and himself, Billy the Kid. Because when on February 18th, 1878, Tunstall was ambushed and murdered by men connected to the house. And it wasn't just business, it was personal. Because, of course, you know, he came over here like, I'm going to be your competition. And it was probably better, girl. They were probably like getting all the goods. They probably were laying out. He was honest. He was fair, everything. That probably cut the house down. They probably stopped going there, in my mind. Billy was devastated. And then he got angry because they killed his boss. Like, they killed his mentor. They killed his father figure. He and the rest of Tunstall's ranch hand formed the Regulators, a posse determined to avenge their boss and challenge the corrupt system that stole his life. So, Stephanie, I know you can relate to this piece of the story of Billy. He was all over the newspapers, of course. Like, the media made him, like, into a star. They made him into a villain, a rebel. But he had all the flair, like a rock star. He was photogenic before photos were, like, even given that. He was magnetic. He was that rock star outlaw that lit up the press. Like, he became America's first viral legend. Written into dime novels, printed on the East Coast in papers. You know, they hadn't heard such of a wild man, and they whispered about him for years to come in saloons. But under it all, he was still a boy grieving a man who treated him like a son. And the war that followed was pure wildfire. So on April 1st, 1878, the Regulators ambushed and killed Sheriff William Brady, who had been on Tunstall. He had been on the murder. The sheriff, because remember earlier I said they had everybody in the pocket, and they also have this William Brady up in there. So from there, the bullets flew. The bloodshed spiraled out of control, and by July, the conflict reached its boiling point in what became known as the 5-day Battle of Lincoln. So McSween, Tunstall's attorney and ally, was concerned in his was cornered in his home among Billy and several others. The house was surrounded, shot at for days, and eventually set ablaze. McSween was killed. The rebellion crumbled into fire and smoke, so the house just burned all the way down. But Billy, he survived this. He slipped away into the shadows, gun smoke blazing behind him. So after that, he lived on the run. He tried to negotiate peace. Governor Lew Wallace, who actually wrote the book Ben-Hur, offered him a pardon if he testified in court. Billy agreed to this, but the governor, of course, they give you the promise and they take it back. That's what happened to Billy. He flaked. And Billy was left betrayed again. Oh, good old loyal Billy the Kid. So he went back to robbing, riding, and surviving. And in April 1881, he was captured and sentenced to hang. But just like the stories promised, he escaped. He killed 2 deputies that time and rode into the legend. So then came the night of July 14, 1881, in Fort Sumner. Billy walked into a dark room, likely looking for a late night snack. Somebody in the background whispered, "Guinness." It was Sheriff Pat Garrett, his bitch ass. Waiting for Billy in the dark, a shot rang out and Billy collapsed. He was only 21 years old. Or maybe he wasn't. Some say that Pat Garrett shot him. Pat Garrett did shoot somebody. It was the wrong man. And they said Billy escaped once again. That he lived a quiet life under a new name, far from the lands that made him famous. Either way, he was gone. So, but this story, it never left me. Billy the Kid wasn't just an outlaw. He was a reflection of everything broken in the system around him. A product of betrayal, survival, and loss. But he was also loyal, loving, and made legendary not by his crimes, but by the way that he fought for the man who once gave him hope. So, and if you ask me, this story is way worth remembering. Like I said, this is the guy. This is why I love everything Western. I love the Wild Wild West. The wilder the better. That's where it is. And when they tried to demonize Billy the Kid, it seems like his heart was true. He did kill some folks. He was a killer. But who wasn't killing back in the day? Everybody was open to carrying guns and doing all this, whatever. So they got Billy, and Billy got his just due. And girl, that's why, I think some things are, kind of the archetype or architect, they kind of make you who you are. And that kind of story just always stuck with me. Girl, I'll be reading all the books about Billy the Kid, trying to learn, did he really live? I think I saw maybe in the 80s that he had lived a quiet life out in Colorado. I think they had him on Unsolved Mysteries one time. They were saying, is this guy really...
I feel like I do see the Unsolved Mysteries. Do you think he's still alive, or that he lived?
I think that he was killed that night.
Oh, do you?
I do. I think he did. I think he met his demise that night, because you don't want nobody good around. Even if you feel threatened, I'm sure, which Pat Garrett probably did, because look, he's this 20-year-old kid, and he has a vendetta, a real legit beef,
and he has nothing to lose. There's no family.
Nothing to lose. He was an orphan.
I always say that those are some of the most dangerous people with truly nothing to lose. What did Pat Garrett say to him when he walked in? Did you say Guinness, beer?
Guinness.
In Espanol?
In Espanol.
Guinness. Who goes there?
Yeah.
Girl, why do you ask him in Spanish? What's that all about?
Because that's what they spoke back in the day. That was on the path. You gotta know a little Spanish to be trailing up and through New Mexico.
Because it was basically Mexico.
Hello.
That's what I was going to say. Was New Mexico considered a state at the time that this was all going down?
Girl, I think New Mexico didn't become a state until 1912, so this was a little bit...
So it's a territory. Yes, that makes sense that they would be speaking Spanish. Mm-hmm. That's really funny. Yeah, that's actually what got me into Spanish, because having been there, it's listen, y'all are not going to be talking about me.
Yes, let me know. Like,
I
girl, that is the best, isn't it? Isn't the
It is the best.
best?
I was actually at the store yesterday. This is really interesting because it ties into this because there was a woman actually at the thrift store where I came up, but there was this woman and she was talking to her mom and I knew what they were saying. And I mean, they weren't talking shit. They were just talking like, yeah, should I get this? Is it too small? Just general chit chat. But they were talking out loud and I was just like, are they talking in Spanish because it's easier, or are they talking in Spanish because they don't want people to know what they're saying? And I just
think it's the
wonder, do you
latter.
think it's just because it's easier?
I know. I think it's because. I mean, it could be twofold. It could be
Yeah.
because they don't want people to know what they're saying, and I think that also. I think I had a debate with somebody the other day about like why do people that speak foreign languages seem like they're speaking louder. And when you speak English, you have to do like the tone, like keep your tone down because it's a very offensive language. You, I.
I agree. Yes.
So,
It's true.
it can disrupt the whole
true.
vibe going on. But when you're
It's
speaking
true.
your native language and you're just like, yeah, okay, girl, this is crazy. Yeah, look at these motherfuckers. You can say whatever you want to say.
You know what sucks though is we just talked about that in our last podcast, and it's the fact that English is unfortunately our native tongue.
It is.
And there are some
Unfortunately.
languages that are just so beautiful and lyrical. Obviously, Italian. I think even French is really beautiful. What's one that I heard that I was like, wow, what language is that? There are a lot of languages, and I think it's the difference between the Germanic languages and like the Roman languages, right? I feel like English is Germanic because it came down through the like England or the UK and then of course over to us. And so it is very like Plus there are a ton of words that it just doesn't it's not an easy language to learn because there's a lot of nonsensical things, right? Like other languages have different words that sound different for things, and we have some that are like very similar. Which, like what?
Girl, it could not be farther from which,
You know?
which, girl.
Yeah, which. And so it is also a very hard language to learn. And so I never begrudge anyone here speaking their native tongue because I'm like, English doesn't make any sense. If I knew another language, I'd speak it. I don't think that they talk louder. I just feel like it sounds loud because it's not English. You know?
So you're saying we're perceiving it, we're picking it up or louder than it because we're not.
Yeah,
it's not to the
English
trained
being
ear.
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay.
That being said, I mean, because Americans talk loud too. I've been in places where I'm like, why are you on your phone? I was in Walgreens.
Wait a minute.
And this guy was just walking around, and I think he was talking to his. Ultimately, let's actually think about that. When we talk about the downfall of civilization, some of it has to be correlated with the fact that we started having conversations like on phones out in public.
In open air?
In
Mixed
open air.
company?
In mixed company.
That'll get you every
A
time.
little performative. Like, I try not to be on the phone when I'm out and about because you're not, like, the person talking to me isn't really going to get the best of me because I'm being my best self. Like, for strangers, you know what I
For
mean?
strangers, performance.
It's just, we've just been performing for strangers, especially since social media came online for years now. And we need to evaluate that.
We do. We need to evaluate it ASAP.
We need to think about the fact that we're just sitting here talking out loud about our business so that other people hear. And then what's crazy is people get upset if you're listening or if you have an opinion about what they say. But babe, aren't we all having the conversation? Shit.
I didn't ask to be here. Shit, I was
know?
enjoying my grocery shopping, and here you are telling your girlfriend that you'll be over in 5 minutes, and the trouble that ensued. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, this one lady was talking to her kids, and I was like, damn, like, do you hate your kids? I was just like, and I immediately had to switch gears, like, okay, let me put something positive out in the air. I love you guys, girl. I don't know. Why is we doing this to the kids?
Oh
We be
gosh,
telling these
I've gotten that
kids.
way too, where I just, any energy, like I ran into the strangest energy thrifting yesterday.
Okay, tell
And
me about it.
oh, I don't know if I want to tell you on the pod because there's a lot of nuance to it, and if you don't know me, you won't really get it. But I will tell you about it later. I did not realize though that you liked westerns. I had no idea about that.
Girl, that is my jam. That's how I get down. Girl, mama one year, she bought me some like old, girl, I'm talking about. These were from the freaking 40s. Like old westerns, girl. I would sit there and make them kids. Girl, we be watching those DVDs from back to back to cover. Girl,
That's
all
so
day long.
old.
I love a good western. I love the thought, like we talked about earlier in the other podcast, about like a society where everybody kind of was like, okay, I know that we could have guns, but you know, we actually have, it's called the Wild West, but there is some decorum. And we do have to kind of start policing ourselves, and we do have to act accordingly. There were no cameras around. There was no videotaping anybody. There was nobody to bring it to your crimes and to the ether here, so everybody can also judge you. It was just a society where everybody was trying to get a piece of the rock, riding through desolate, you know, trails. Girl, that's all that I'm about. You. Let's ride some trails. Let's go get into some stuff. Let's go see some people. I love a western. Girl, and then when the bad guy, sometimes I cheer for the bad guy because I'm like, damn, he was misunderstood. Have you ever seen these westerns, girl? The villain is always misunderstood, girl. He's just like Billy the Kid. He was just trying to avenge his own boss. He's like, this is the best motherfucker I ever knew. And y'all took him from me because y'all all corrupt and running amok.
That's crazy. Do they still make westerns today?
Girl, they do. There was a good
Really?
one on Tubi, and you know Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi's clutch. Literally, Tubi is like an oracle for me. I will put it on,
Yes,
and I'm like,
girl.
tell me what I need to see, and
Tell me. It will just bring
from the depths
to the depths, girl.
of entertainment some of the
Girl,
wildest
some
stuff.
of the
But I have to
wildest
say,
1980
yes,
miniseries. You're like, dang, remember this?
I love it so
Good
much.
stuff.
See, my obsession, and I don't, and obviously it wasn't my obsession when I was a kid. I don't really have an obsession with any type of specific genre. But now in my life, my obsession is 80s and 90s movies. Like they're so soothing to me. I have no idea why, but I just
They're
like
the best.
watching shows from
Excuse me.
like back then. Something about post millennial took us in a different place. One of the things that gets me so upset, and I think why westerns are probably really easy to watch, is because most of what's occurring is like outdoor in daytime, because everything that's filmed modern is so dark. Why do they film everything so darkly, do you think?
Guess they lost hope. I don't know, girl. They like, we don't want nobody to see this. I don't know, girl. I don't know.
Have you noticed that? Is that something that you've noticed?
No, I don't think I've
Oh.
noticed it.
Maybe it's because you have newer TVs.
Duh.
For real, because you know my TV is
You know, no, you're right. It's everything is like nighttime, like the Sandman, and like I feel like the Gilded Age also is a little dark, even though it's light and they're moving about. But I feel like it's still like the Gilded Age. And you,
I am so sad that you did not like the Gilded Age.
don't be sad. Don't be sad about it at all. I'm sure
'Cause
I'll
it's
come back
so
around to
good.
it. I
Please
know.
come back around
I
to
just
it, 'cause
probably
you
haven't
gotta
gained the momentum that I hoped for. You know.
give it
Because
give
I'm
it
very
another.
like I got 4 legs, Stephanie. Like
Oh, you know what? Actually, I guess if I'm thinking about it, Victorian age would be my
okay,
obsession. Maybe that's
okay.
why I like it so much. Like I'm probably never going to watch a Western, and I get why you probably wouldn't watch Gilded Age. But there's something about that time period that is so hopeful.
About the Victorian age.
Yeah, that's so like
Mm,
hopeful, I feel.
I think so. Yeah.
No. It was, and plus it was there, everything was just so ornate, and they really cared about quality of
They did.
everything, you
They
know?
knew what quality was, and they
Mm-hmm.
knew what it meant to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
important.
everything, like things were like hand sewn. There's lots of silks and
Hmm.
calfskin and taffeta,
They were learning stuff. They're like
linen. Yeah.
textiles.
Yes, textile. And I'm a big textile person. I love touch. I love
Hmm.
fur and wood and give me something to touch. So that might
Yes.
be it too.
Hmm.
That might be it too. But there is something to be said about like historical stories.
Hmm. Yeah, girl. History
And
is
that's one of
really
the
important.
reasons why I think that America has such good PR. It's because there's all these very distinct things that could only have happened in America.
Here. Yes.
Like Westerns, they do those exist? Are there cowboys in other places? Did the
Girl,
cowboys exist before us? I guess
I
they must have, because horses
feel
have always been.
like they have always been some kind of horsemen,
Hmm.
ranchers,
Hmm.
So it's something
Yeah,
that
that's true. Yeah.
everybody kind of knew.
Because, I mean, I feel like natives were
They
cowboys.
were. They were. Definitely were. They had to be.
Yeah, I've also found that the term cowboy, I feel like I read that it was rooted in
Tell me about
anti-blackness.
it. Because Let's look it up.
Oh, wait, no, maybe it wasn't.
So the Spanish and Mexican vaqueros. Spanish settlers arrived and the Americans had brought cattle horses. The kettles, Spanish for cowboys. Cowboys. I love them.
I actually
Girl.
love cowboys too, which is weird that I don't love westerns, but I love cowboys. I'm like a real, like a, maybe it's not even cowboys. Maybe I just like rancher,
There you go.
you know?
That could differentiate the two.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ranchers, I always think about, when I think about ranch, I don't know. Do you know what ranch beans are? Have you ever had
Yes.
them? That's what I think about. I think it's somebody like making this big old pot of beans, bringing the triangle for the boys that have been out there all day, gathering up the
Hmm.
girls, making
Hmm.
sure everybody got fed and doing all the things. And now it's time to sit around the campfire, have a good old strong sippy
Yeah.
sip, have some
Yes.
ranch beans, maybe some cornbread, maybe a tortilla or
Hmm.
two.
Isn't that what a trail ride is?
I think so.
Like traditionally, I think trail rides are.
Hmm.
I that's one of the reasons why I loved Yellowstone so much, because they really, to me, captured at least an element of like ranching
Hmm.
history. They actually did do. I think it's what it was a trail ride, and it was really just kind of cool to see. There's something about men who can on a horse manage huge
Things.
other animals. Yeah, because they
Shut
could like
up.
laugh over
They
them.
can.
Like
They can
imagine
wrangle
being
them
able to
in. They could call that
laugh.
dog and say, "Get him," and get them
Yeah, like
together, girl.
they're very one with nature, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just love men that are very like understanding of the natural world.
They understand.
So was Billy the Kid a outlaw or a cowboy?
He was pretty much both.
Was he a
I'd say.
cowboy? Is that what he was working on, like a ranch?
He was working on the ranch. He was going
Hmm.
from town to town. That's what like brought him out west to work on a ranch. Wanted to learn some things.
Aw,
And
he got a
girl,
lesson. He got
he
a
did get a
history.
lesson. He got a whole lot of lessons, girl. He was the rudeness, tootinest motherfucker you ever met. Every time I watch like Young Guns or and when they say regulators, mount up. Remember that's what
Mount
that.
up. Hmm.
Let's go. Let's fucking go get them. And it wasn't just one. Like you could do your little giddy up and get out there and try to. But we got community here. We were building communities even back then and now. We
Yeah.
don't know what community means. We don't want to be together on nothing, much less avenging the death of somebody that was very honorably killed for no reason.
I agree. We can't seem to get on one accord at all. Like, what is us? What the hell is going on? It's so strange because I swear I like to look at these historical occurrences during like a modern lens. And Billy the Kid, someone would have ratted him out. They would have been like, 911, I saw him under the bridge in a hidey hole. Go get him.
And that's it. End of story. The hater's revenge. Girl, and you know what I'm saying? Like, he actually, like, said, hey, guys, you know, let's go. You know, so there could have been an E2 Brute up in there, a little Judas.
Yeah.
There's always one in the crew.
Yeah, because how did he find him? How was he just sitting there ready to, like,
saying, like, ready to pounce, girl? They was out there in the streets probably jabbering. Girl, you know, when you, in the Western movies that I watch, you know, there's always that one loose lips sinks ship.
Yeah.
The town drunk.
At the saloon.
He'll tell you whatever you want. Give me a double. What do you know, Benny? Oh, well. Yeah. I think I saw Billy yesterday. What? Yeah, I was coming down the trail and I saw that fool. Like, he was slipping, but he did tell me something. He stopped talking, which he probably should have stopped altogether because that was the sign from God to say, shut the fuck up, Billy. But Billy was like, I'm about to go get some bitches and we gonna go over here and do whatever until it's time to ride again.
And he walked into the wrong house. The sheriff is probably sitting at the other end of the bar, like, you're hustling, you know?
I've been waiting all night. Yes! Talking about get ass. See, girl, everybody want to be famous. Like you said, everybody wants to be famous. Pat Garrett wanted his fame. The old boy at the bar, he probably died not too long after that because, you know, they don't... They don't live too long. They don't live too long. Girl, and then when they get to the jail and they sit in there a couple of days and they'll be like, damn, like I fucked up. Like now my shit is just going to be pushed back because, you know, you're going to find some of Billy's friends. People are going to talk about him. You're going to be sitting in jail. Why are you here, fool? Because I'm sure that's probably been the thing since as old as time.
Oh, for sure.
What brings you here?
There are certain people who inspire people. Like Billy did it. Like, wasn't that the whole thing he was doing? Was like getting vengeance. So vengeance is as well as old as time, and it's something that I really am into.
Yeah,
I believe in vengeance. I saw this TikTok, and this guy was like, it was short and sweet, and he said, "I just want to let you know that I got my lick back. It's been 7 years, and I just got it back. And I want y'all to know, don't ever think you're safe." And I felt that in my core. Because I'm like, just because you haven't heard my name in a while, don't think that you're not still on the list.
Oh, motherfucker, you on the list.
You're still on the list. And the first chance I get,
So, yeah, girl, they be slipping, girl. They be over there playing the fiddle and all kind of shit. Like, get it.
Yeah. Out after down.
Oh. And then, girl, they be up.
You know what I was
thinking?
They
escaped.
Is that we need, this is a complete non sequitur, but we need more women spies.
Okay.
Because I feel like the world would look drastically different if a lot more women were operating in that capacity. You know,
there's some spies out here. They're women and they're really good at it.
Did I ever tell you about? Gosh, I looked her up and I forgot, and now I'm never going to remember. But that woman,
is that her name?
Oh no, she's like a modern day woman who is she's on YouTube, and she basically teaches you all kinds of things about just how to be like self-confident. Essentially, that's kind of her shtick now. But apparently she was like in the CIA and she was like smooth with it. So she's got all of these like tips that they used. But I think that we need people even more dark web than CIA, because I feel like there are a lot of men that should just go to sleep.
They should get a piece of the yellow cake.
But women can put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, where are the Charlie's Angels? girls. Like, girls, we
Girl,
need you.
we do, girl.
Come to the front, Charlie's
It's called
Angel.
Girls Force. I don't know. Should we say Force? No, we should name it something else. I don't know what should the
Yeah,
name
because
be.
force is so masculine.
Yeah, it's very masculine. But let's get the girls together. That would be
Let's
that.
get
Now
it
that would be awesome.
together.
That would be a
That's what we need.
cause that I
I
would get
kind of
behind.
feel like if I put on my little psychic antenna, I kind of feel like that's what it's gonna look like. Like, because America's kind of done. I feel weird saying that because I know a lot of people aren't necessarily keen on hearing it, but it's wrapped. Like, you don't have a national leader like this who's literally dismantling everything, because what you can't do is put everything back together like it was. So at that point, it has to be put back together a little differently, and that's when I think things are going to structurally and systemically change.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it had to be it. Of course, it would take pure destruction before we could get to progress.
Girl,
That's
but
what drives me crazy.
I think it has to be destroyed so you can appreciate how it got built back up.
I
know,
think
like,
it only has to be destroyed because men are in charge.
Oh damn. However,
Because who takes a wrecking ball to the house when you could just like knock down a couple of walls?
girl, they want girl. Mm-mm.
See that men, women don't just knock down the whole damn structure.
Yeah.
We're gonna very methodically walk through and keep some of it livable while some of it,
Yeah, it's rebuilt.
constructed. Because there's so much that exists that doesn't need to.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. They
That's
started making, girl, it's like when you wake up in the morning and you automatically choose violence instead of trying to see what the day holds. You just already like.
That's exactly what it is.
Like, you actually chose this. Like, you chose this.
Well, the thing about it is it's like it's so common to them that I don't even think that they're choosing it. It's just in their nature now.
It's in them.
Just natural to them. I read this tweet by Kelly Osbourne that stayed with me, and she said, "Oh, I bet I can find it."
I like go,
You
Kelly.
know, thank you, Apple, for your search is getting much better on the phone.
By the way.
By the by, I do have to shout you out because I'm literally just going to type in the word better and I'm going to find this dumb tweet.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm not. Damn, Apple, I really...
You were trying to pick him up.
I really was. I'm like, the word better might not even be in it.
You tried it.
Anyway, it's basically, she says something to the effect of like, I don't necessarily believe that every single day you're a really good person. I think that every day you need to wake up and set your intention to be a good person, and that's how you proceed. But people aren't doing that. They're just kind of waking up, carrying all the stuff into the day, and then because they're not self-regulated or mentally resourced enough, they like vomit it out on everybody else, you know?
Yeah. You know, I like these videos. I like watching some videos all the time. It's my guilty pleasure. And these videos are of people that have obviously in the morning chose the state's going to be a little fucked up. I'm going to go do some fucked up shit today. But instead of
What
coming
type
up,
of videos are these?
these are the cam, what is it called, for the police cam or their body armor cams, like of situations that happen.
Okay.
And most of these situations, and let me tell you about these situations that I love, girl. These are the top two. I will tune in. I'll see them. I'll know it's a bank. I'll tune in. Guess why? These motherfuckers that wrote a check out went to the bank. They maybe went to 3 or 4 banks, but now they're at this one because they got caught. And the person behind the counter was like, touche, motherfucker. You think you got one today, but you're not getting away with this shit. We're not cashing this check. Hold down a minute. Let me call and verify. So instead of leaving the fucking bank with the check, taking this shit, the evidence with them, because, they're on video cameras all the way around. She said she's gonna, like, as if she was supposed to do the right thing by giving you the money, but you did the wrong thing by trying to get it. Like, how did you think her telling you to have a seat that she was going to really call and verify that check? Are you stupid? Girl, they be like a deer caught in the headlights. Then the police asked them, two of the things, like, you know, a motherfucker is lying when they tell you all that they did all day, because you know they're fucking lying. I woke up this morning. I wanted something to eat. I made an omelet. That wasn't good enough. I took a couple of grapes and then I just was satisfied.
Yes.
Get to the point, motherfucker. What happened? What brings you here today? Why are you sitting here? You got this check from where? Oh, they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about all some old made up shit. But those are the best. Those are the best videos because the people never want to have accountability. They talk about JoJo and Ray Ray, and I don't know his last name. You know his last name.
My gosh.
Oh, she's my friend. I don't know their last name. Those are good. The second ones I like too. Girl, they're good to me. They're good to me.
Is petty crime is funny. If you're not really hurting people, if it really is these corporations, every single time I'm going to chuckle or I'm going to applaud you, because the facts are these corporations have so much money. And what money they don't have, a lot of our government goes to making sure they're keeping it and or writing laws to make sure that they never have to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So anytime someone's like, the only time I get annoyed is like if I go into Walgreens and the shelves are so clear because y'all have just been in there taking all week, I get a little annoyed. But even then, it's just annoyance and not much else, you know?
Do you want to hear about the second ones that I like?
Yes, of course.
All right. So the second one is of the Walmart shoplifter.
Oh, see, yes.
Girl, they got some stuff down to a science, girl. When they opened up that the self-check, I'm sure Walmart had to protect its interests. I'm sure they tell you. I don't want to go through the self-check because I don't want nobody bringing me no fucking smoke. Because I'm trying to do the right thing, of course, every time. I'm not trying to slide.
Didn't they shut it down, though? I feel like
they still got it. They just have, like, this one person standing there watching every move.
I see.
Plus, they got the eye in the sky. It's probably seeing all your driver's license information. So, where are you going to go?
Have you ever stolen from a grocery store?
No, not ever. Not from a grocery store. But in my heyday, Kmart used to be that girl. Kmart.
I have never stolen, but anytime, like if you don't check the bottom of my car, like if I forget what's on my bottom of my car and you don't check it, I'm taking it. I'm not going to come back in.
That happens. You're not going to go back in. No.
You know. But yeah, I feel like those are just kind of minor crimes, especially because ultimately it's not like a mom and pop, right? Like the Waltons are one of the richest families in America and have been that way for decades. Mm-hmm. And they've been that way for decades with people filling up their carts and busting out of self-checkout. So clearly it's not really hurting your bottom line.
Not at all.
It probably means that your prices should be even lower, frankly. You know what I mean? Right? Like,
girl, you know, they used to be low prices. I feel like when I was like in my teens, I used to go in there and get a good deal on some shit.
Oh, yes. When I was in college, I could, hand to God, take $20 to Walmart and get enough food to feed me for a week. Mm-hmm. Enough food. I'd get eggs, bananas, tortillas, ramen. Like, I distinctly remember I'd be like, oh God, okay, yes, I have $20. And I could buy like stuff. And the only place I could do that was Walmart. And I don't feel like there are a lot of places where that can happen now. And that's why I'm so bummed about the discount stores also going away, which I feel like definitely does have a parallel to fascism because they really want control. Yes. Like, you can't have options. You're going to buy from here and you're going to like it. But that's why I was like literally devastated when the 99-cent store went out of business.
Oh, God. I think a collective sigh across
here that Big Lots went, and Big Lots was that girl for me.
Shout out to Big Lots.
Big Lots was where I first fell in love with sun-dried tomatoes. because
I remember. Yeah.
because they'd have some like the most random jarred things, and you
They
could
would
go
have
there.
some good ethnic. They would have some good imported
Yes,
something that
yes,
you can try. Like, okay, this is I've
without
never seen
breaking
this
the
brand
bank.
without breaking the bank, without
Loved
batting
it.
the eyelash.
And so to me, it's just like once those things go away and you really are corralled into big box, that's when America's done. I mean, we're already done because we're already doing that. Like I was talking to someone and I was saying how I use this very specific laundry detergent by Tide. I've got to figure it out. I will. I've
Mm-hmm.
been thinking about trying to make my own. I found out that you can just use like glycerin and like Castile soap, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to go homesteady like that. Well, there is a
Not that
place,
girl, Stephanie. Not yet. It's too
not yet. If I had a
soon.
home, probably, but there is a place where you can buy bulk that I'm considering. Anyway, so it's this very specific Tide that I used to get at Target. And so I'm like, well, where else can I get it? And it's like, oh, Amazon. It's like, oh, okay, I don't necessarily want to get it from Amazon. Where else can I get it? And then I think Home Depot came up. I go to Home Depot, they don't have it. So
Uh-huh.
ultimately, there's two places that I could get this product. And if I weren't really paying attention, I would still consider it freedom of choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is it?
No, not really.
Why doesn't Walgreens have it?
Girl, why don't they have it?
You know?
Girl,
And
do
then I
you
was
think
going to another
Amazon was just
store.
like, let me buy all this shit up. Let me get it all so they'll only have one direction to go. And guess what? If you spend $25, you can get it overnight. Bitch, I don't want it
No,
overnight. I want it cheaper. I
I need
need
it
it where I
overnight. I
go
don't
get
want
all my
it
other
to
shit.
do. Yes. And
Girl,
that's the crazy
I
thing.
don't know. But it's
Oh,
surprising that you're saying Tide is that, it's that girl because remember, like, how Tide is the main joker. P&G, like they the main jokers up in this shit. Like they,
well, yeah, they are. I think I use it because it's what my mom used and it's just familiar to me.
it's
Like
just
I'm
that
down
it gets
here.
it done. Hmm.
Well, and also it's this specific one. It's called not the blue one. It's like real natural. It's got
Yeah,
like lavender in it. It's just perfect. It
yeah.
really is for laundry detergent. It really gets my stuff like how I like it. And I can only get it at two places. And I'm so upset by it because that is not freedom of choice. But then I started thinking, even in this conversation, I'm like, if I can't get it at Target, I can't get it at Amazon. It literally goes Walmart or Walgreens. Are those the only options?
I'm afraid so. I'm
But
afraid
isn't
so.
that
I
crazy?
mean, sometimes, if depending if they have it, it's not always guaranteed. The Frugal Hoosier, they may have like a stock and
Yeah.
lot of it that they're
I
trying to.
actually think I did see it there once, funnily enough. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just when I think about having conversations with people about like just the country, like they break down because no one wants to acknowledge these types of things, right? Like
Mhm.
that's not choice. And one of the reasons that it gets so hard is because then, like you said, PG&E is in some kind of deal with Target,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's all these corporations making all this money, making sure that we spend with them. So sometimes I don't mind if one of y'all knocks a freaking 2 liter in your bag. I don't care.
Did we come full circle, girl? Okay, full circle. That's a good
um,
start with. But yeah,
well,
I
that's
feel
the
like
thing.
they definitely have gotten the monopoly on a whole lot of things.
A whole lot of things, a whole lot of things are monopolized. And a lot of people are just like, get in my big car, go to Starbucks. I mean, you know, it's
Not
crazy. You
Starbucks.
know, we are in some real dystopian times
We are.
when everyone's day on social is like the exact same thing. Get ready with me while I go to Target. Well, there it's always like run errands, and it's literally them just going to Target, going to Sephora, going to Starbucks.
That's it. Girl, I know this ain't what you do every day. Like, you try to make me believe this for what? What are you getting? What kind of kickbacks are they giving you?
And
What
then
kind of
yeah,
little
but then the
couple
thing
of.
about it is like I kind of feel like it is.
That's it. That's how
No, that's
broad.
not true. I feel like
Mm,
the addendum
where do they go?
is they will go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods.
Ah,
That's it. That's how they switch it up.
Dang, just more stuff.
Just
Just
more
more
stuff.
stuff.
And we're all at the same place, doing the same thing, wearing the same shit.
Wearing
I
the
don't
same
know.
stuff.
I don't know
Oh,
how.
speaking of wearing the same stuff, we've kind of been talking about this for a while. Like, we want to, it's time to switch up. It's time to elevate. It's time to go up a notch. And I
Mhm.
find myself on Etsy a lot.
Me
Um,
too.
and you cannot beat artisans. People that are doing something that they love to do, that
You
they're
can't. Can
passionate.
I tell you a perfect example of that?
Mm-hmm.
I got an anklet off of Etsy. Did I tell you about my anklet?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's hemp braided and it's got sunstone, rose quartz, and tiger's eye. I love it. However, for some reason, it broke right in the middle, and I was
Mm-hmm.
devastated because the artisan. Oh, that's the thing about artisans; they're one of one. So I went on her site to see if I could find one that was similar, and I couldn't. But she does have some that are braided a little different. So I reached out to her to see if I could actually send her the beads and her braided a different way. And whatever, just help me out. And she said what she will do is fix it for me if I just send everything back and just pay for the cost to ship it back to me.
Mm-hmm. Look at
That's
there.
how business works
Real
with
customer service.
small
Not
business.
fake ass
When
customer
you're out of
service.
corporation world, when you're doing one-to-one business. But you're right, Etsy's my girl. What have you been getting off Etsy?
Well, I haven't gotten anything yet, but I have been
Oh
perusing the shelves.
my God, I'm so excited for you.
I've
You're just
been
gonna find
looking.
so much
Oh
stuff.
God, there's so much. There's so much. I think I kind of went down the rabbit hole because I'm like, I want some beads, some kind of
Mm-hmm.
beads for my doorway. And I
Oh,
thought about making them, and I thought about just getting some kind of mass produced something from like Urban
yes.
Outfitters, but it's not gonna
Oh,
really
yeah.
be what
You
I want it
feel
to
that
be.
way. I get it. I get
So
it.
these are a little expensive. These little these bead curtains are, I'm not saying they're not even like long for the doorway. They're expensive that way. But I'm just thinking about right now, like I've seen some that are as small as my bathroom window, and just
Mm-hmm.
having like a little arch, a little beads, a little
Mm.
sun
I could
catcher
see that. 'Cause
activity.
yes, I just exactly saw like the sun coming in. I could see that because I could see that being really beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad that you are. Yes, this is how we subvert the system. I bought a dog backpack for my dog because she's older and she doesn't like
Yeah.
walking as much, and I'm like, girl, we got to get the steps in. Um,
Yes.
so I bought a dog backpack for her off of Amazon, and none of the ones I saw did I like, and all of the ones that I could potentially like, I just felt like they were far too expensive. But I bought one. We used it for a while. I hated it. Then I went
Mm.
to Etsy and I said, I want to find something different because I also like to have her in front of me while I have a backpack on the back of me because if we're going to do some real hiking, like I got to carry some tools. And I found this little pouch, this sling that I throw over me that I'll say, do you want to go in your pouch? And she'll just sit down and I pick her up and throw her in there and we keep walking. Hands free. She's in front of me. I can see her off Etsy. And it's something that I would never have considered until I started being intentional about my purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best thing. Have I ever, here, I'm going to show it to you right now. It's just this woven thing and it's pretty and someone made it. And there is something to be said about like intention, you know what I mean, with the
Mm-hmm.
stuff we're buying. The mass produced stuff, I don't know that that works for us. I don't think we were ever supposed to be living in a world. You see that?
Oh, that is so cute.
Isn't it cute?
It's adorable.
And it can fold up and go in, you know what I mean? It's like the perfect thing. And that's the type of stuff you get from artisans, like artistry. I'm a big proponent of Etsy.
The people, like, just your kind of style, the things that I like, I would like to go in the store to see. Like, this is my own little store. Like, I can curate it however I want. I'm looking for things that kind of speak to me. I love a good artist. I think in the past I bought all kinds of stuff on it. Girl, I love Etsy. I love it.
I love it too. It's funny because I was looking through photos. I don't remember why, but I was maybe just trying to organize some. And then I saw my beaded curtain, and I was going to send you photos of it. But the photos are so old that everything's like so blurry, and they're just from like 2010. But
Really?
even when I say 2010, I'm like, damn, that's
Yeah.
15 years ago,
15
Keisha.
years ago. Hmm.
But I saw the beaded, and it just brought back that feeling. I remember I would just walk through them and they'd fall behind me, like,
Give
and
you
it was
my
like you
shimmer.
could unveil yourself. Like, 'cause I had it
Yes.
right in the hall, like in the doorway that walked into the hallway. So it separated my living room and my kitchen from the rest of the bedrooms and the bathroom and all that stuff. And I loved it so much. I loved it so much. It was funny. One time they got connected and my dog was walking through and it caught her. And I have a photo of her just looking at me like,
Hey, girl, you gonna help me out? You got this shit up here, by the way. I can see it all now.
but yes, there's something to be said about a beaded curtain. And mine were just wood beads. They weren't even crystals. The crystals I feel like would just take you to a fairyland. I love that. I love how we are moving away from millennial gray. I actually never even embraced it. I don't know why people thought that was so cool.
I don't know. It's the creativity for me, and I feel like that kind of sets the bar. Like, oh, this is the limit. This is how far we go, and it's not even that great. But everybody's like, oh, not great. Let me get on board. No, girl, they can keep that stuff. The more color, the better.
The more color, the better.
I love color, as you can see. Just color.
Yes. Yes.
Girl, when I dress with, intention, and certain colors, like have the pink. That has been something that's been coming around lately. So I guess.
Wait, did you say pink?
Girl, I guess some kind of spell has been broken, because I
that's
never would buy pink. I would be like, ugh, disgusting.
Have you heard that little trend on social where they're like, she's getting her pink back or pink's coming back?
It's coming back
I
to the real
really
life.
believe that because I used to be pink's one of my favorite colors, but it went missing from my life. It really did. And I mean, everything I had, you know how like the people whose favorite colors are like purple, like they're wearing purple, like you can tell. I used to be that girl, but as things got a little rocky, the pink went away. And I was going to say, maybe that's kind of what happened to us is things got a little weird. And so the color leached out of our lives. See, it can never leach out of my life because I'm too borderline. So if the color goes, my mind will go. So in order for me to be rooted in reality and the present, I have to be surrounded by things that stimulate me. There's no way I could have been in an all gray apartment being comfortable with that. I literally would have felt like I was in an asylum. And that would have been
that's what it's trying to do, girl. Makes you know, like, you're not well, baby.
I agree.
This girl's not well. She's clearly not well. Is anybody gonna intervene? No.
Yeah, someone needed to. I do feel like it's becoming, at least people's homes are becoming a bit more personal, again. But everyone is still definitely rocking the same clothing. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why do y'all do that? Like, everyone is so desperate to belong to something. I'm like, please just start belonging to yourselves.
That's too simple, Stephanie. Are you kidding me? That's all I have to do? That's all I have to do.
I mean, there's such a deficit there. It makes me so sad. Because is this the podcast we were talking about? Like how, no, it was the other one. But just how then if you're not like absorbed with yourself, then you're absorbed with things you don't need to be absorbed with. At that point, you're looking outside of yourself and you're going to find disappointment. So then you're going to be a chaos agent because you're not. It's like, I think we were talking about it yesterday, talking about how you like love to be in your home. And I think, was saying that everything in my apartment, once like some things in my life shifted and kind of fell off, are totally different. The feel in here is so different. I hadn't felt at home in my apartment for a really long time. But once some things got moved off my plate and out of my life, it was weird how I was able to start focusing on that stuff from the tiniest little things. And for me, because I am really Venus heavy, I think my abode has to feel good to me, you know?
It does. It has to, girl. 'Cause just think about it, how the powers that be getting you off your square. So you're always there. You're always producing and doing all this stuff, and then when you come home, you feel disengaged because you haven't really engaged it at all. The weekend is 2 days. It's 2 days to kind of get your shit together, realign. It's not enough time.
Yeah, and I guess I can kind of understand it too, because I've been fortunate enough to be a remote employee for years. And so if you're always at work, when you come home, it's just kind of a way station. That's what sucks. So I guess I could understand why people aren't necessarily pouring their heart, minds, and souls into their spaces, because it's not even a place where they could just spend enough time. It's so bananas. We were so close at the height of the pandemic where everyone was remote. We were so close to a better world.
So close. So close. I was thinking about sitting out on a patio this morning, and I was thinking about that. I was like, 2020. Fucking A. Like, we actually lived through that shit, Stephanie. We lived that dream, that... Girl, it was so nightmarish in some ways. In some ways, I just got my life because I was like, this is great. Like, I have all the people that I love around me all day long.
See, I think that's why it wasn't that great for me, because I had to isolate alone. But I will say it wasn't that different because I'd already, like, everyone was like, we are going remote, and I had been remote for years. So I was like,
and you're like,
welcome to the party, guys. Shit.
Told you guys you can do this
over here. Yeah, it's real chill over here. Now you're gonna see why we're showing up on
you know those men, they were like, fuck, I can't fucking talk to anybody. I gotta talk to Peggy Sue over here.
Isn't that the argument? I mean, one woman got bullied off TikTok because she had the audacity to say that the reason why we have to return to office is because men hate their families and they don't want to be there. Which I think is a lot to do with it, because there's really no reason why, like, a lot of us should be in office. Or at least, like, I mean, even if it's not fully remote, we should have just a general culture of hybrid workforces, generally speaking.
We should.
But we were too happy, too productive. Because you notice when we had that free time, we chose to be socially justice. And that definitely was never going to stand with the man.
No, he was like, what?
They're gathering? They look fed and like they've slept?
They got some sleep, damn it.
Why do they seem so happy? Why is everyone on TikTok laughing?
What is so funny?
Yes, they saw that and were like, oh, no. This won't do. The plebes are starting to enjoy life again. God. This won't do.
What? We can't make money off of this joy? We can't capitalize off this joy. Damn.
Then we revoke access to it. Back to the office you go. Back to the 2-hour commutes you go.
Back to 2-hour commutes. Back to being in a cold ass fucking office, sterile,
with
fluorescent
recycled air.
You don't deserve vitamin D. Don't we give you good insurance? Don't you love this fucking Avenue C store? Full of snacks that meat sandwiches, triangle sandwiches. Girl, don't tell them that.